Welcome back to Built to Last. I'm Ted Bennett. Today, we're in Indianapolis, Indiana to show you why the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was built to last. In America, automotive racing got its start at our most famous racetrack, a beginning in 1909. That's at no coincidence with the dawn of the American automotive industry. The first head-to-head battles between car manufacturers happened at the Motor Speedway, just outside of Indianapolis. 116 years of evolution and change hasn't changed the spirit of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, continuing to host the modern version of those early races, pitting one man and his machine against another man and his purportedly faster machine, along the way becoming infrastructure that silently backdrops our psyche of racing, and like a lot of infrastructure, subtly long-lasting in a way that we can look to today for inspiration, something built to last. The story of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway starts just as the American automotive industry was gaining its own momentum. In 1908, young upstart car manufacturer Henry Ford had just rolled the first Model Ts off of his assembly line. But this is a long time before the Big Three. In fact, back then, there were over 250 car manufacturers in the United States. Indianapolis was home to 12 manufacturers, and if you expanded the circle to include cities like Logansport, Auburn, and Dayton, 1909 Indianapolis at the hub looked a lot like America's first motor city. Therefore, Indianapolis stood as a natural location for a performance facility for automobiles. In 1908, Carl Graham Fisher, an Indianapolis businessman, had just returned from Europe, seeing advanced motoring and caught the racing bug. Fisher saw opportunity for a purpose-built proving grounds where manufacturers could perfect designs and showcase performance to the public. American car buyers needed to see cars in action to know they needed one. By the end of 1908, Fisher found 320 acres flat enough and dry enough for his track, 5 miles west of Indianapolis. Now, Fisher conceived a 5-mile race loop and convinced James Allison, Arthur Newby, and Frank Wheeler to join him, purchasing the land for $72,000. This photo is the version normally shown to commemorate the four partners. But a quick internet search shows that in 1909, the world was not above a brutal photo cropping. Who was that fifth man? Well, none other than Henry Ford. And what role could Ford have played in the start of the Indy 500? I guess we'll never know. To get the project underway, Fisher and his partners hired P.T. Andrews, a civil engineer from New York. P.T. warned Fisher that his 5-mile track left no space for grandstands except on the straights. Andrews foresaw a future where spectators might want to watch racing. And acquiescing to the expert Andrews' advice, the track was modified to a 2.5-mile oval consisting of 2 5/8-mile straights and 4 1/4-mile banked corners. Andrews' design dimensions are basically unchanged in the track we see today. He certainly knew what he was doing laying out that geometry. Andrews' pavement called for a cross-section founded on compacted earth, with 2 inches of creek gravel overlaid with 2 inches of crushed limestone, all covered in a tar and oil mixture called taroid. Taroid was used to control dust, bind the roadway, and keep the road base dry. On top of the taroid sealant, another roughly 2 to 3 inches of gravel soaked in taroid was placed. The construction of the roadway was completed in 5 months at an incredible cost of $3 million. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway hosted its first official races in mid-August of 1909. Louis Schweitzer of Stoddard, Dayton won the first automotive race at the Speedway on August 19. These were the first documented races, but legend has it that the first race at the Speedway occurred 2 minutes after the second car arrived at the track. With a track like Indy, it was time for the greatest innovation in America, the gas pedal. America had found its need for speed. Those first races did a number on the road surface. Andrews had not planned on the heavy racing that occurred at the Speedway, as people could not get enough speed. The tar and gravel service lasted under 2 weeks. The initial racing rutting and wrecking the road surface, with drivers literally eating loose gravel. Fisher knew he needed to upgrade the wearing surface of the roadway. After comparing surfaces, Fisher settled on brick, the best wearing surface available, and Fisher found local manufacturers in Indiana to supply that brick. To prepare the track for brick paving, a 2-inch layer of sand was placed atop the damaged gravel roadway. Fisher and the track owners knew that they had a short window to complete the repairs before winter would shut down construction for the 1909 season. Fisher bought every brick he could buy, totaling 3.2 million bricks, spending roughly $400,000 in bricks alone. Fisher bought so many bricks that it was hard for anyone else to get bricks for road building that fall. While the brick numbers were impressive, so was the installation. Those 3.2 million bricks were laid in a mere 63 days to get some late season racing in December of 1909. The bricks were fixed into place with a 50-50 sand-cement mix, and those bricks remained fixed for a long time, earning the speedway the nickname the Brickyard. But how long did the bricks remain? About 3/4 of the speedway was paved with asphalt in 1939. Those Indiana bricks laid by Indiana boys show incredible durability in locally sourced materials. And over the years, the Brickyard became the place to race. The first Indianapolis 500-mile race was witnessed by an estimated 85,000 people in 1911. Over the years, racing in America evolved from something enthusiasts and daredevils did to a professional sport. As automotive racing became more professional and more technically driven, the track evolved its technology and amenities, improving safety at the track for both drivers and fans alike. During World War II, all racing at the speedway was suspended and the track fell into disrepair, falling on the verge of being bulldozed to make way for subdivisions to house GIs coming home from the war. Thankfully, in 1945, a local, Tony Holman, bought the track with a plan to bring racing back to the speedway. And Holman really did save the Brickyard, putting the facility back into shape with numerous improvements and the addition of new steel grandstands. In 1961, the final remaining straight was overlaid with asphalt, eliminating the last section of brick pavement. However, a 36-inch yard of bricks remains to pay homage to the past, serving as the track's start and finish line. The roadway was paved in 1976, 1988, 1995, diamond ground in 2002, and resurfaced most recently in 2004. So those old bricks buried under all that asphalt are now 116 years old. And the asphalt surface is now over 20 years old itself. Impressive! The Speedway continues to evolve, hosting races in all of the major racing leagues, including Formula One in 1991 with the road course and NASCAR starting in 1994. Aside from technology and outstanding pavement performance, the thing that strikes me most about the Brickyard is its sheer size. I've stood on the 50-yard line at Michigan's massive Big House and marveled at the expanse of that stadium. For scale, when the Big Ten had 10 teams, I'm told the Speedway was large enough to hold all of the football stadiums and still have room to spare. With a capacity of 400,000 people, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is in fact the largest sports venue in the entire world. Founded on locally sourced bricks, rugged, enduring, and iconic, those bricks held strong for decades, just as the Speedway has stood the test of time, evolving yet never losing its soul. As I put my own hands upon the bricks, I'm inspired by the history and lasting infrastructure we've collectively witnessed here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. That 36-inch wide strip of bricks proves that with the right care and respect, engineering excellence can endure. Built with an innovative spirit, designed for greatness, and safeguarded with unwavering devotion, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway isn't just a track for racing. It's the beating heart of American motorsport. It's America's temple of motoring. And most of all, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway is in fact built to last.